Welcome to CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus with your down-the-middle explanation of world events. Today, that begins with Iran and the United States, two countries that are trying to ratchet up pressure on each other. On Wednesday, Iran announced that it would partially pull out of an international nuclear deal from 2015. That deal was made between Iran and 6 other countries led by America's Obama administration. Last year, the Trump administration announced the U.S. would leave the agreement. And yesterday, exactly a year later, Iran said it would reduce what it called its commitments to the deal, but not fully leave it. Specifically, the Middle Eastern country says it plans to hold on to some components of its controversial nuclear program. That's instead of selling them to other nations, as Iran agreed to do under the deal. What the 2015 agreement intended to do was limit Iran's nuclear program and allow inspectors to make sure Iran was doing that. In exchange, the U.S. and other countries would lift their sanctions on Iran, allowing tens of billions of dollars to flow into its economy. Today, the Trump administration wants to get Iran to negotiate a deal that American officials say is more favorable to the U.S. And until Iran does that, the White House plans to continue applying pressure that it says could cripple Iran's economy. After Iran's announcement that it would back away from some terms of the nuclear deal, the Trump administration announced new penalties that aim to limit Iran's sales of steel, aluminum, and copper, a major source of international revenue for the nation. Analysts say both the U.S. and Iran are doing all this to try to get the international community to pick sides. The U.S. wants other countries to join it in leaving the nuclear deal and pressuring Iran to change its behavior. Iran wants other countries to join it in defying the U.S. and preserving the nuclear deal. 10-second trivia. Which of these is not the name of a transportation network company that provides ride-sharing services? Juno, Lyft, Via, or Appia? Though Via Appia is the name of an ancient Roman road, the word Appia is not a ride-sharing service, at least not yet. Of course, Uber and Lyft are the biggest ride-sharing companies in America. And on Wednesday, one day before Uber offered stock for the first time on the New York Stock Exchange, many of its drivers around the world went on strike, and they were joined by some drivers for Lyft and other ride-sharing companies. Uber's initial public offering on the stock market could raise about $10 billion for the company, and it's offering its veteran drivers a payout of between $100 and $10,000, depending on how many trips they've completed for the company. They'll also have the choice to use that money to buy Uber's newly offered stock. But drivers who've given fewer than 2,500 trips may not be eligible to receive a payout. And those who went on strike yesterday, in general, called for higher wages and better job security. On average, Uber drivers are estimated to make around $19 per hour in wages. Some say it works out to considerably less than that once fees, commissions, and expenses are factored in. Uber and Lyft say their drivers are independent contractors. What that means in many cases is that they don't get the same rights as employees. But Uber also says it can't succeed without its drivers. The length of the strikes, the timing of them, and the specific demands of the drivers varied from city to city. But this was expected to be the biggest internationally coordinated effort so far against ride-hailing companies. The number of drivers who went on strike and the results of the strikes aren't known yet. Okay, we're turning our attention now to artificial intelligence, AI, when computers are programmed to imitate the human abilities to learn and make decisions. Like any new technology, AI comes with upsides and downsides. Its supporters say machines are less likely to make mistakes and can sometimes complete tasks faster than people. Its critics say machines can't always make accurate judgments or think creatively, but that they can replace jobs. AI's applications in the business world clearly illustrate how these pros and cons play out.
Imagine an office without internet, or a company with no computers. Almost impossible, right? One day, artificial intelligence could have that same revolutionary impact. And the businesses that start embracing it now could benefit the most. To most people, this brand means beauty. But lately, L'Oreal has been breaking the mold not with cosmetics, but its use of AI for recruitment.
We really wanted to save time and focus more on quality, diversity, and candidate experience. And AI solutions were the best way to go faster on these challenges for us.
The French corporation gets about 1 million applications for roughly 15,000 new positions each year. And in a bid to better manage that volume, L'Oreal launched 2 projects in partnership with artificial intelligence startups. The first is Maya, a chatbot that aims to save recruiters time during the first stage of hiring. It vets candidates by handling routine queries. The second is an AI software that scores applicants based on their answers to open-ended questions. Ava says that these numbers aren't meant to replace human judgment, but rather suggest people who might not seem like the obvious choice.
We have been able to recruit profiles that we probably wouldn't have hired just on CV, like a tech profile for marketing, like a finance profile for sales.
The trials are ongoing, but starting to yield results. For one internship, which receives roughly 12,000 CVs for about 80 spots, recruiters saved 200 hours of time while simultaneously hiring the most diverse group to date.
Potential benefits of AI in recruitment are huge.
Recruitment is just the tip of the iceberg. Artificial intelligence is reshaping nearly every way in which we work. Some aspects of business, like human resources, marketing, and customer service, are already in these early transformative stages. But the drones and driverless cars that will revolutionize supply chains and business models still belong to a relatively distant future. Despite AI's potential, only 12% of organizations used it last year in some way, according to an Adobe survey of 13,000 professionals. But an additional 30% planned on employing it within 12 months. Embracing emergent technology is not without risk. If AI fundamentally reshapes how we work, it has the power to do so for better or worse.
This technology is coming into our lives. It's definitely inevitable. I just think that the binary definitions of that we are often thrown our ways, whether it's good or bad, is also open for discussion.
As a futurist, it's Anab Jain's job to foster that discussion. Her London-based studio combines research and design to create immersive experiences, which help people visualize the future. Last year, Superflex launched a 48-hour installation about the future of work, which forced CEOs, policymakers, and educators to consider 2 scenarios.
Mohammed Gina saying to you too, you've been made redundant, yeah?
One in which AI contributes to an automated society that could potentially have negative impacts, and another where tech like AI makes the world a better place by freeing people up for more creative tasks.
It was very important for us to make them understand that the trends that they talk about could happen to them. What would it be like to lose your job? What are the legacies you're leaving?
Anab cautions that as business leaders embrace AI, they need to be careful. Jobs will be lost. Unfair biases could be coded into machines. And ethical questions abound. But AI is still in its infancy. And while computers can now make more decisions than ever before, it's the people who define the impacts they have.
It's been said that when Bruce Banner gets mad, he turns into the Hulk. When the Hulk gets mad, he turns into Chuck Norris. And when Chuck Norris gets mad, run. Well, these people are a-running, and Chuck Norris is nearby. But the American action film star and martial artist wasn't mad. He was hosting a 5-kilometer run in College Station, Texas to benefit charity. Around 5,000 runners from the U.S. and abroad, many of them dressed as Chuck Norris, competed in the world's first Chuck Norris 5K. Standing at the finish line was the legend himself, and in addition to the high five he gave them, participants also got the chance to try to break the record for most Chuck Norris lookalikes in one place. As usual, the winner was Chuck Norris. Runner Walker, he's a Texas Ranger. And even with all those sidekicks, he's a Delta Force of one who'd never be missing in action because he's not expendable for that kind of event. I'm Carl Azus, reporting for CNN, the Chuck Norris Network.